Hey, Steve over here at Rewire, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today a little bit about how we approach the end of the year and how you might want to approach the end of the year. I've been watching some movies lately. It's the season where we all watch holiday movies. Everyone's got their favorite one or two or whatever it is. What I've noticed this year is there's an unbelievable amount of renditions of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Like, it's crazy. There's modern ones and older ones, and there's ones that are sort of analogous to it, and it just seems like I've noticed that this year more than ever. As I was thinking about A Christmas Carol, you remember, like, the ghost of Christmas past and present and future. Well, it caused me to think a little bit also about how we approach the end of the year, because it's the same thing. And then the way my brain works, I'm like, gosh, past, present, and future. I'm starting to see patterns and themes there. But I want to talk to you about that pattern and theme because you might find it useful to approach your end of the year under the same thought process of past, present, and future. And by the way, we build a tool every year at Rewire that we'd like to get to you because that tool is going to take you through the process that I want to talk to you about right now. And it goes a little bit further than we can than a simple video like this. But anyway, let's look at how even our tool, or even right now, how you might see yourself in thinking about the past and the present and the future. Now, when we talk about the past, it's an evaluative thing. Yes, you can go back 10 years. We recommend maybe going back 1 year. Maybe it's only a quarter. There is not a one-size-fits-all for this. However, it is pretty important to understand, like, where we've been, right? You've heard that saying, where you've been, then you know where you're going, blah, blah, blah. However, there's two questions to ask about the past that our tool does a pretty good job of that you might want to think about. One is, what did you learn in the past? I know a lot of people that go back and go, gosh, what did I learn from the books that I read? What did I learn from the circumstances? And we actually can record down some of what we've learned. As we age, you might want to remember some of the things that you've learned, and that's kind of cool. However, what you learn these days in information and just learning things, it's great, but it's out there in spades. I mean, look at what we've got with AI and everything else. We can learn a lot. But the second question that we get to when we evaluate the past, and when you might evaluate the past, is not just what did you learn, but rather, what did you learn about you? What did you learn about you? You see, we think this is a more profound question, and you might find it to be the kind of depth of question that can really get you learning about not just things out in the world, but your responses, circumstances, and what you went through. So that's sort of the past version of what we look at. Then we move to the ghost of Christmas present. It's not a ghost. I'm just kidding. It's like whatever. But the present. Now, when you talk about the present and someone asks you even, how are you? They're actually asking you about the present. So in our little planning tool, we actually take the time to get to know right now. How are things right now? And not only how are things, making an evaluation, getting some facts about where you are in your business, maybe making an evaluation right now of where is your relationship with, again, friends, family, spouses, whatever it is. That's right now and it's present. We actually go one step further and not just talk about things that are going on right now, but how is your ability to actually be present? Man, I work with a lot of clients who their main goal in coaching ends up being, how do I get present? How can I be present for my team, for my family, for my children, for people around me? And I can go and talk a lot about that, but the tool that we want to bring you through asks some questions not just about your present, but moves us towards action about becoming present. It's a trick. Almost, again, every single philosophy and religion out there points to some way to keep us present. In fact, there's some people that go the past and the future are like enemies of the present, and that's a little extreme. Again, we want to look to the past to learn about ourselves and learn different things, and then we want to look to the future as well. But learning how to come back and be present might be one of the greatest things that you explore in yourself, and the tool that we have is going to help you do that. All right, let's look to the ghost of Christmas future. Do we plan? Do we have a vision? Where there is no vision, people perish. That's ancient Hebrew wisdom. Great, we get it. In fact, I've been reading books recently about, or even reading blog posts, and I watched a whole podcast on someone going, planning's worthless, and they prove it, and they no, we're not planning anymore because we change everything anyway. And it's funny sometimes how we have a tendency to swing the pendulum and treat these things like they're extremes. Planning's not worthless. I think it's awesome to have a goal. By the way, what I do for a living, without a focus on some result, I don't have a job. Results are a great thing to focus on, and planning for that and saying I have a goal is great for you. Maybe even chunking the goal down. In 2026, we're going to look like this. Maybe you break it into quarters. I love that stuff. Now, do we live out there? No, because guess what? The trick is coming back to the present. So if we have those three elements of I've evaluated and continue to learn about my responses in the past, about myself, where I went, what I did, if I could learn to be present, and if I could, at a healthy level, bring the future and have some projections and dreams and goals. By the way, that's just dopamine, right? When I look forward to achieving something, it's healthy, it's good. Do I want to live there? No, because I want to come back to the present. And if I come back to the present, if you come back to the present, we can, with our own agency, have this really cool blend of looking at the end of this year with the lens of past, present, and future. Have a great end of the year. We look forward to being part of your success in the year ahead.